think there's a lot of room for a lot of new technologies and digital media. I sometimes make use of them. If it's blogs, if it's sharing things via all sorts of other platforms that just make the communication with a large-ish group of people easier.
I think a lot of people see social media as a technical skill, like you said. Social media use as a technical skill, not as like a critical skill. To me, I see understanding social media as like very important from a sociological perspective, from a cultural perspective. Like I don't think you can understand the world right now without understanding that. So yeah, I mean, I think yes, it should be like a core theoretical requirement for people to understand these issues.
But I think that the teaching experience hasn't fundamentally changed much since Socrates' day. It is still very much about people getting together in an enclosed space and exchanging ideas and exchanging views and challenging one another, challenging each other's perceptions and misperceptions. I think that will always be the case.
But I think a lot of people see it more as just a medium. And one would think in a media studies department we would understand that like it's not just a medium, like or a medium has, you know, greater consequences. But I think if you see it as just a skill, then it becomes something like public speaking or writing the essay or something where it's like,
right,
okay, you can have that one class where you learn how to do that.
I think that social media can certainly have room in helping the class foster a community outside of the classroom. I think it also greatly depends on the particular individuals in the class.
I don't know the level of interest among the faculty. I mean, I think there's a reason why a faculty might hire the social media expert. Like, you have somebody who does that. I don't think it's right for every class or every teaching style.
I'm not a very social media oriented person myself, so it's not something that I would leverage in the class on my own say-so. If students have an interest in that, you know, I'd love it if they would communicate about that.
And I think that any sort of pedagogical approach that favors the new and the shiny over the basic core of what teaching is would be poorer for it.
I think part of being a citizen is being aware of how your information is public often, and I think most of my students are already putting stuff up there. So like, let's talk about like what that means and what are the consequences of that.
I've taught classes in which students were eager to continue and foster this discussion and found social media to be a terrific tool at doing that. And I've taught classes in which students prefer to go out and, you know, hang out and you know, eat something after class together and continue the discussion this way.
Everyone was studying for the midterm together on Twitter, and like I hadn't instructed them to do that, I hadn't told them they had to do that, but people were asking me questions, they were asking each other questions. If I didn't answer their question right away, someone else would answer. And so it ended up being this like group study session, but everyone could be, you know, in the library or at home or wherever they were. Some people didn't participate in the study session, but right before class, they like quickly skimmed through the tweets just to be like, oh yeah, that.